So there is this character in the Bible, and I absolutely love this person. He's one of the apostles of Jesus, and his name was Thomas. The thing about Thomas was he was given a very unfortunate label, and personally, I think it's very unfair. They call him Doubting Thomas. In fact, anybody who ever doubts is called a Doubting Thomas. But now here's the thing. Thomas wasn't really doubting God. Thomas really just doubted his friends who said that they had seen the risen Jesus. And because he doubted that they had had that experience, because he wasn't in the room when it happened, forever he was labeled Doubting Thomas. And like I said, I just think that that was completely unfair, especially when there's another character of the Bible who I think doubted even more than Thomas. Because this other character didn't just doubt his friends, he actually doubted God. He doubted an angel from God that came to bring him good news. Now, this guy's name is Zechariah. So rather than calling him Doubting Zechariah, I'm going to call him Skeptic Zechariah. Now, if you're not familiar with who Zechariah is, he is the father of John the Baptist. And his story is told before the story of Jesus and before the story where we hear of Mary having the visit from the angel and telling her that she's going to have a son. So this is how this story starts. Luke chapter 1, beginning at verse 5. In the days of King Herod of Judah, there was a priest named Zechariah, who belonged to the priestly order of Abijah. His wife, a descendant of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. Both of them were righteous before God, living blameless according to all the commandments and the regulations of the Lord. But they had no children, because Elizabeth was barren, and both were getting on in years. Once, when Zechariah was serving as priest before God, and his section was on duty, he was chosen by lot according to the custom of the priesthood to enter the sanctuary of the Lord and offer incense. Now at the time of the incense offering, the whole assembly of the people were praying outside. Then there appeared to Zechariah an angel of the Lord standing at the right side of the altar of the incense. When Zechariah saw him, he was terrified, and fear overwhelmed him. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah, for your prayers have been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear a son, and you will name him John. You will have joy and gladness, and many will rejoice at his birth, for he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He must never drink wine or strong drink. Even before his birth, he will be filled with the Holy Spirit. He will turn many of the people of Israel to the Lord their God. With the spirit of the power of Elijah, he will go before him to turn hearts of parents to their children and the disobedient to the wisdom of righteousness, to make ready the people and prepare for the Lord." Zechariah said to the angel, "How will I know that this is so? For I am an old man and my wife is getting on in years." The angel replied, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to bring you good news. But now, because you did not believe my words, which will be fulfilled in their time, you will become mute, unable to speak until the day these things occur." What an interesting story. I mean, here's the thing about Zechariah. This guy was a devout man. His wife was a devout woman of God. They followed the customs. They had been praying for years that God would bring them a child. They had been praying for this. And now he's been selected as priest. He's got this special duty to go in and to offer the incense in the temple. And so he goes and does this. Remember, he's been praying for years to have a child. And while he's there in the temple doing his duty, an angel comes and says, "Your prayers have been answered. You are going to have a baby. You're going to be a dad. And Elizabeth is going to be a mother. And this child is going to be a special child. This is great news. And he says, well, how will I know that that's going to happen? I mean, I'm getting old. What a weird thing. How is it that you can be praying for something your whole life and then have this wonderful religious experience and then be skeptical whether it's really going to happen? I mean, what causes Zechariah to be so skeptical? Why ever pray if we don't believe it's going to happen, and then when it does happen, we still don't believe it? Why would Zechariah ever doubt the angel Gabriel? Why? Why? Because he's human. He's like you and me. He really struggles with believing that the power of God can happen in this way. No matter how much he's prayed, he's looking at the writing on the wall and saying, I am so old, this ain't never going to happen. And sometimes that's the way it is with us humans. We can pray, we can hope, we can put all our energies into something, and still it's hard for us to believe that it really has happened, that it's really come, that it's really possible that God's going to do what it is we're praying for. Yeah, I know. In the beginning, I was a little hard on Zechariah. The truth is, I'm not that hard on him because I think he's often like we are. Skeptics, wondering whether or not God can really pull off the impossible. And you know what? Time and time again, God shows us that God can.